Hi guys, recently Alex from Buzz Special Vehicles sent us one of his parcel shelves, cargo shelves, rear storage shelves for the Jeep JL Wrangler. Today we are going to show you how to fit the shelf. So let's get started. First of all, you will need some very basic hand tools. You'll need a 13mm spanner, a 7mm spanner, 6mm Allen key and a 3mm Allen key. And that's all you'll need for the selection of hardware that comes with the shelf. Actually, there's one more tool you'll need, and that comes in your Jeep toolkit, and that's the little wrench and the larger of the two Torx bits that come in the kit. And they are for the bolts that hold the hardtop. You'll need to remove the rear two on each side, and the side support for the shelf actually gets trapped between the hardtop and the bolt. So first thing we did was put the two halves of the main shelf together and use 6 of the small bolts, your 3mm Allen key and your 7mm spanner, to secure the two halves together. And then we moved on to the end pieces for the shelf, 2 identical pieces of aluminium, bolting those on with more of the small bolts. So you want this with the larger side towards the front of the Jeep, and then feed the support bracket through and then tilt it around the roll cage. Replace the 2 bolts, not too tight, but just screw them to, so there's a little bit of movement available. So I think the best thing to do is put all the bolts in and just put them, not even hand tight, just allow for a bit of movement between all the parts until they're all in place, and then go around tightening them all up. So I'm going to do the same for the other side, and then we'll get to the next step. So I'm just going to offer up the pre-assembled shelf and then pop a couple of bolts in just loosely, and then after popping in those bolts, just going to put the nut on the back just up to the nylock. On all 4, and then finally we just offer up the front and back fascia pieces. This is going to make the whole thing more rigid, and there's 8 bolts, little tiny bolts either side. If I can get that lined up. I'm just going to pop a few of those in. And remember, if you've got all the bolts loose enough, you can move things around and get it all lined up. So we've got these 8 small ones, and then the larger bolts go in the end there into the actual support bracket. Once you've put all the bolts in, then you can start to tighten them up. Ratcheting spanner is a godsend at times like this. There are some of these little ones on the end pieces here. I didn't film those while I was tightening them up. And that's it, the Buzz Special Vehicles rear shelf for the Jeep JL. Quite a lot of aluminium with a steel support bracket either side and a steel shelf, so it's not actually too heavy. Pretty robust. Bit tricky getting in there because it's made up of lots of parts and lots of bolts, but once it's in there it's really sturdy. Just make sure you leave all the bolts loose until it's fully in there, and then tighten them all up and you'll be good. So I hope that was useful, and you have fun fitting your shelf, and we'll catch you guys in another video. See ya.